Alright, time for another stuff I got. Got the Goodwill, and Daniel spotted this for a pretty good price. I've not tested it yet, but I have high hopes. It's a PlayStation 1 for $8. Comes with a controller, memory card, and the cord to plug in. No wait, is it the AC? Yeah, it's the AC cord. And I got a cord to make it into a RF. I'll check it out, but I think it looks pretty mint. It looks pretty damn good, as you can see. I mean, nothing wrong with that. It was already pre-bagged. Thought that was a pretty good price. Nabbed it up. Next, we'll go through some more UFC DVDs real fast. Big Lots still having that great sale. UFC 70 with a bunch of people representing their Pacific countries. You got Arvlosky, you got Bisping, you got Krokop, you got Gonzaga. And I love that fight, Gonzaga versus Krokop. That was a really big fight. That's probably the most important, maybe like I'd say most important leg kick KO in history of MMA. Because I couldn't believe what I was reading. I didn't actually watch it. I was reading the results as they came in on like SureDog and MMA Junkie. And, you know, you thought it was a typo when you saw it was a leg kick by Gonzaga that took Krokop out of it. Just KO'd him. And you thought they just messed up. But then to find out that he actually took out Krokop with his own medicine, just amazing. Just really blew my mind at the time. And it's pretty much the only reason you still see Gonzaga around after he's taken so many losses. That sweet leg kick. I mean, that's just a beautiful KO. And it's sad for Krokop, but it was really important for Gonzaga. It's a good fights. Good fight, at least. I don't know about the rest of them. UFC 47, Tito versus Liddell. I think this is their first matchup after Tito ducked Liddell for so long. He finally has to fight Liddell. Loses. This one was interesting. This was like right when I began watching MMA, UFC 54, and I remember watching what do you call him? Oh, I have to look at Jeremy Horn versus Chuck Liddell. That was a weird fight. That was like one of those fights you see today that's more of a domination fight where the guy doesn't give up, but he's clearly beaten. Like, you know, you could say like BJ Penn versus Diego Sanchez, or GSP versus John Fitch, or Randy Couture versus Tim Sylvia. One of those fights where the guy is just, he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger. He's not going to be able to win the fight. But you got to tip your hat to him for having so much heart and taking such a beating. And then also you have Diego Sanchez there, and I already said Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture. And I'm not sure who he fought on that card. They don't even show his opponent. They just have, you know, let's get the biggest stars on the cover in the background, even though they're not fighting each other. Here's a UFC 46 Supernatural, Vitor versus Randy. That's a pretty good cover. I like that. You know, a lot of it gets caught up in the same stuff, you know. I mean, the same stuff. It's the same design. It's two guys in the forefront, then you got like two guys in the back, like you just saw with that last cover. But this one, it looks pretty nice. They actually put some work into this one. It stands out. And yeah, who else we have on here? Ooh, we got Frank Mir, Carl Newton, Lee Murray. Oh man, I can't wait to watch that. Lee Murray is freaking awesome. He's that guy that got busted for embezzling money and stuff. And he has like a memorial of himself in the UFC in his house that was repossessed. And it's like stole $7 million or something. Crazy. And also there's a rumor that he knocked out Tito Ortiz in a bar fight. He just has this whole aura around him about badassery. Although I shouldn't glorify thieves. But it's a pretty interesting little story. Some other guys that I can't pronounce their names. They also got, they don't show it, but they got BJ Penn. Oh, this is the fight where BJ Penn. Actually, they should have listed, you know, Matt Hughes and BJ Penn fighting, because that's when he took the title from Matt Hughes. So yeah, maybe they should have had them in the background. But I like the cover art still. And that is a good fight also to have on it. UFC 62. Kind of a ho-hum card, but got it. It's the sequel of Bonner versus Griffin, and it's also Liddell versus Babalu. And that was kind of a one-sided fight. Babalu elected to stand with Liddell, and Liddell ate him up. People forget how dominant Liddell was. I got a bunch of DVDs that have Liddell in them now, and it just reminders about how the guy always was a game for a long time. It took a long time for people to figure him out. UFC 58, Luazzo versus Franklin, and Penn versus GSP. Again, that was well, actually the first time. That was the one that people, argue that Penn won because he did more damage to GSP's face. It's one of those arguments. You look at the guys' faces after the fight and who looks the worst, and it really doesn't hold up. You look at what Diaz and Gomi, that fight. Diaz looks awful after the fight, but he won. He beat Gomi. But yeah, and also if you want to talk about ugly faces, after Luazzo gets this huge bump on his head. I mean, Franklin breaks his hands breaking in Luazzo's face in that fight. It was a real good fight, but after it, Luazzo never recovered and he kind of disappeared from the UFC. He just downward spiral. And I don't like this cover art at all, but UFC 50, Cote versus Tito Ortiz, and GSP versus Matt Hughes. That's the one where Matt Hughes won, the only one. And you also got stars like Frank Trigg, Evan Tanner, really good, Robbie Lawler, Rich Franklin, and Jorge Rivera. Nice. That should be interesting. But yeah, I can't wait to watch some of these. These are going to be good. I told y'all a while back, if you saw another collecting this, I was thinking, I bought these games, these card games. You swipe into the system. And I said, eventually I'll get the system. And I got it. Here it is. HyperScan, or HyperScam, whatever you want to believe. It was $8 too. Came with a controller. It's very tiny. It has like a clam-like design. You put cards in there. It has a lot of computer hookups to it, I see. It has like a USB hookup. But yeah, that should be interesting. Review coming some year. Maybe my 30,000th sub. There you go. Review of this thing. Also, I wanted to show you the misleading. Where is it? Here it is. The misleading. I bought this at Walmart. This is how I got involved with this whole scam. I bought this controller. It's one of the controllers. I got two now. But see, it says here, video game system. This is not a video game system. It was fine. It wasn't 15 people. It's been marked over so many times. I bought 5. It was $5. It started out at like 40 for some reason. It's just a controller. There's no system to it. All it is a controller for that little system I just showed you. But they say, let's see it, video game system. That's bullshit. False advertising bitches. I've been looking at the plushies now for a while at the Goodwill, and I found Gong Gong from Monkey Ball. That's pretty cool. I like Gong Gong. My brother used to play Gong Gong a lot. I like Mimi personally, but he's like the heavier set character, and he gets in the ball, and he's easier to control, but it's harder to get his speed up, of course. That's how the game goes. I thought it was weird though. He has like an ass. I mean, I don't know what's up with that. I don't remember him having an ass. Maybe he does, but I just never noticed. But once you have it in doll form, and actually once you are bringing it in front of a person, who's judging you and ringing it up, you notice it has an ass. It's like, oh, that looks weird. Please don't judge me too much, for I just got my ass monkey doll.
Ass monkey doll.
Really? Isn't that weird?
It's flabby too, kind of. It's kind of wrinkled.
And one side's bigger than the other. It's what the F? What is that? That's just wrong. What? I don't remember that. I don't know if the Aoki and Mimi and the little baby one, I don't know if they have asses too, but I know Gong Gong has ass. That's the lesson I've learned. Also, I've been trying to include some retro stuff I got since I've gotten stuff before I started making videos about getting stuff. Well, that's apparent. So I thought I'd show off my Voltron toy. But this I found in parts in like this box. And I kept on finding more parts and I put it all together. And I got myself a Voltron. I used to have some of his firing pins, but I lost those. You could fire them. But, you know, take them off and they become, you know, their own little, you know, tigers. Or whatever. Cats of beastly cats on the prowl. But it's pretty awesome. Toy just kicks ass. It looks so awesome, and I love the metal. They don't make anything of solid metal anymore, so when I find a toy that's metal, I kind of snatch it up. That's what I did there. So yeah, there's no other way to end this episode. Oh, I'm punrific today. Punrific.